Hello everyone, this is Tia back at the studio and I'll be your host for this evening's live session of In Perfect Harmony. This evening we're taking you back behind the scenes of live music into the world of sound, the part of concert that you hear but don't always see. Our guest is Marcus, sound engineer for TAFMA who has worked for some of Nagaland's biggest stages and was most recently the director of audio and festival engineer for Hornbill Festival 2024. And he has also engineered for events outside of Nagaland and even India and across different countries. So stay with us as we dive into this journey, the challenges, and of course, a few stories from his life behind the console. So Marcus, it's wonderful to have you with us on In Perfect Harmony this evening. So let's start by getting to know a little more about your journey into the world of sound and engineering. So, could you please tell us a little more about yourself and how we got into the sound of engineering?
Okay. Hi, my name is Marcus Geisuo. Okay. And how I got into sound engineering is back then during my college days, there was no idea about sound engineering. In fact, there was hardly any sound rental. You know, the guys who own the sound rental, they themselves set up and they do the sound. Okay. So when I was around class 7, I remember it was about, I think 97, 98. I went to a show at Lions Club Dimapur.
Okay.
And it was the best sounding show I ever heard. And I didn't know what the difference was. It was a band called Listra.
Okay.
So it's a gospel band and they were singing about White Cross, Petra and all those. So I got the sound, it was different than any other concert I had gone to. Now, after a long time, after years later in 2014, I met the person who did that show. His name was Barry.
Okay.
He is the sound engineer for Shillong Chamber Choir. So during my college days, when I was doing my BSc in Patkai, during my final year, I used to have a CD and cassette player, and I used to play songs all the time. People come to listen from to my room. Then I started getting some old speakers, and I started connecting it to different rooms in our hostel. Okay, we were in a Bronson Hall at that time, science students, BSc students. So I connected to some of my friends' rooms. I used to play music and just wake them up in the morning. Okay, then I think that word got around, and then one day one guy, I don't recall his name. He was from the Evangelical Union. Okay. He came and he said, "Hey, I heard that you know how to do this sound thing and all that." Not really, but what do you want? I asked him. No, our shows na patkai mein. These EU events or musical events, you come and help us. So that's where I didn't know anything. I went. I used to help them with the sound. So I'm sure it must have sounded terrible back then. They used to have an old Ahuja mixer and it was placed in front of the stage. And I used to go, just touch this and that. There was no feather, just knobs turning. If you do this, there's feedback. If you cut this, it sounds boomy, something like that. And I never really knew what was happening at the back. I don't know how it was sounding, but that's how I got interested then. And then I figured, okay, sound, this is interesting. Though I was a science student, I had a lot of friends who were musicians. And then so one of my best friend, Atamong Jamir, he's the younger brother of Atsung, the proprietor of Audio Garage. He had gone for sound engineering and he had come back. So I asked him, I got in contact with him and he gave me the contact for the School of Audio Engineering in Chennai. Then I went to School of Audio Engineering in Chennai and then I did my audio engineering there.
Okay, so your curiosity sparked your journey.
Yes, because at that time, no one knew what was sound engineer in Nagaland. There was nothing as such. Yeah.
So I think we have come a long way
We've come a long way in the last decade or so.
So you have been working with different events and then, you have been a part of many big stages here in Nagaland and even outside.
Yes.
So your recent experience, maybe let's just take it back to the Hornbill. Okay. As the director of audio for Hornbill Festival 2024, what were some of your biggest responsibilities and challenges that you had to take up?
Well, so being in charge of audio, it was no longer just about mixing. It became about getting the logistics together. You know what they say in the army? They say like amateurs talk about tactics, professionals talk about logistics. So logistics became a huge problem for me because not a problem, but it became, you know, something that I have to coordinate with vendors and then with the requirements of the artist, because actually I'm a sound engineer by profession, not a production manager or a sound rental owner. So that I learned a lot last year, and I had huge help from Audio Garage also. Whatever I required, he helped me a lot. So huge thanks to him. So I realized that in production, logistics is a huge challenge, and you have to, you know, make sure that every artist, whether local or international or national, you have to make sure that their requirements are met, because they come, you know,
True.
they practice hundreds or thousands of hours in the come stage, and if we don't have that ready, you know, it's for us also, we feel sad. But 99% we have been able to do it. So yeah.
So coming back to the term of logistics, here in the field of sound, what are some of the things that as a sound engineer you have to take care of in the field of sound?
Well, one thing is actually budget. You have to know what budget you're working with. Everybody wants to get the best. Every artist wants the best. Every sound engineer wants the best. I'm doing a mix, I want to get the best, you know, speaker, the best gear, but most of the times that's not possible. I mean, the organizers won't have the budget, you know. So you work within the budget, and then within the budget, you need to have good relationship with sound rental people, and you need to have contacts. If you have to get equipment from outside the state, like last year we bought from SNL Pro, which is based in Mumbai. We bought a lot of their wireless systems for the drum tau team. So something like that, you need to relationship with the local vendors in order help them support you with your logistics. Yeah.
So it's like a family of WAPT.
Yes, you have to be. I mean, in this field, something you can be the best musician or the best sound engineer or whatever. If you have a bad attitude, if you cannot work with people, no one will work with you. I mean, I think that's what I feel.
I mean, character is the key.
Yes.
So Nagaland has such a vibrant music culture. I mean, from the beginning, we had a lot of rock singers, and now we have a diverse cultures of music. So, in your view, what makes sound of Nagaland unique compared to other states or other places of India?
Okay. Well, I think it's the blending of contemporary music with our local folk music. Because honestly, you know that our folk music is if it's originally folk music, it's a bit monotonous.
Very much.
So, but a lot of artists have been able to blend that folk music with the,
recent
contemporary music, and there's a lot of fantastic music coming up. Yeah.
True. So now, coming back to live shows, okay. Live shows can sometimes be very unpredictable, okay.
Yes.
So can you share some of the moments where you know something went wrong on stage and you had to run around, or how did you fix that?
Well, one incident that comes to mind is last year during Ticket to Hornbill.
Okay.
The outdoors on the final day, there was a guitarist.
Okay.
The band were performing. They were in the final. They were also in the final, and then they were performing. And then the camera guy, he was on stage taking video, and he kicked the guitarist car. What is that? The pedal car extension cord, and it went off.
Okay.
And then my assistant man, within a split of a second, he was alert. He was watching, and then he jumped and put it back in. And because in less than 3 seconds, that guitarist solo was coming up in a split of a second. So then my boys were paying attention. They were like, as soon as the camera guy kicked the power cord out, my assistant jumped in and put it back again. And within 2 or 3 seconds, his solo was coming up. So it was a lifesaver.
So
I remember, my goodness.
That must have been a very hectic moment.
So imagine the power went out, and if people weren't paying attention or whatever, the artist, the guitarist, there's no sound. There's no guitar sound. And it's a solo in a competition. So that's...
That must have been really...
Yeah.
It's very important, I think, as sound crews to have a presence of mind, I believe.
Absolutely. You have no other job. That's what I keep telling my crew. You have no other job. Your job is to watch the artist on stage. If there's something burning out there, there are people to take care of that. Even if people are fighting, there are people to take care of that. Yeah.
So now, many people fully don't understand what a sound engineer does. So can you kindly explain to our listeners, okay, what goes behind the console, and maybe even on the backstage as a sound crew, what are the things that goes in process to curate a show?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. I think these days artists are becoming a bit more aware of the importance of the relationship between the sound engineer and the crew and the artist. Say, for me, I can only speak from my own experience, myself and my team, we do a lot of prep work. Whenever there's an event coming up, it's a given that we already have the tech writer. Okay, we have the tech writer and we're sitting and we're discussing, and then they all give me inputs. There'll be one guy who's a master patcher. He does all the patch list, and he'll give me after doing the patching, working on the patching, he'll give me the patch list. Accordingly, I will have the patch list soft patch on my digital mixer. Okay, and we work around like where to place the equipment.
Okay.
And we even ask the artists also sometimes. No? So some artists, they want it to be on the guitarist want to be on the left. If there are two guitarists, one guitarist wants to be with the keyboard, one wants to be with the
stage plotting.
With the bass, or sometimes both the guitarists want to be on one side. Like that, we talk to them, and then we have everything placed and ready. And then once the placement is sorted, we always do line check. Line check, making sure that every line is, there's no issue, no buzzing, no humming, and every microphone is working. And then we wait for the artist for sound check.
True.
There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, And as a sound engineer, my job is, to take whatever the artist is producing on stage and to magnify the sound for the audience. Yeah, sounds easy, but it's not.
It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So, and comes the consideration of even the venue, right? How the venue.
Absolutely, venue matters a lot. So that's what we experience in a lot of venues, or especially big halls or big churches. There's a lot of reverberation, and people have no idea about the science of acoustics. They just put on speakers, and they think it's going to be fine. But there are something called standing waves, and those, if you don't take care of those, if you don't tune the system, you may have the biggest system in the world, but you're only going to hear muffled sounds, just sound bouncing from the floor, from the ceiling, from the walls here and there.
Yes.
And the standing waves are going to be, it's going to spiral out of control, and you get in the feedback and senseless sounds. Yeah.
So you were talking about tech writer and stage plot, right?
Yes.
So just going along the lines of that, what are some of the things an artist need to equip themselves to communicate with the sound personals properly for a better sound?
Well, one thing is to have the artist should have their own tech writer. They should know what they want. They may not know particular mic models, and that's fine. But just to know that at least we need to have, say, there will be one keyboardist and main singer. The main singer wants to use SM58, and you will have about 2 backup singers, 1 bassist, drummer uses 2 floor toms or a single floor tom. At least those basic things that you can send to the sound engineer before. I mean, once you have been confirmed for an event, then you can send it to the sound engineer beforehand. And also, it's the sound engineer's duty to try to make sure that the sound engineer or the rental provider's duty to make sure that they get all those lists from the artist beforehand.
Okay.
I find that lots of artists are starting to have those, tech writers these days. And some also, they approach us, please make tech writers for us, like that. No, we make it for them, we keep it simple. No point like writing like the PA has to be Mayer sound, L acoustics. No, nothing is fine. Just make
a simple one.
The it should be a good branded system. Okay. But the important thing for the artist is to give the stage requirements.
True. So I think we have come a long way when it comes to tech writers, and then all the requirements. I think
absolutely
people are getting more educated on this.
Getting educated, and just to put a word to that, every time I get a list for an event, say if it's just a school event or college event, they say like, if I ask them, so what is happening, can you tell me which artists are coming? Then they'll just say, busy libi, do it ho. But then we never know. So sometimes I ask the artist number, if you have the artist contact, give it to me, I'll talk to them. And then sometimes the artist will say, yeah, we're using 2 mics, but we're going to have a keyboard and an kehon. So if you just assume they'll say fine. If you just assume that they're just going to use two mics and just relaxing, they'll come on the day of the show. They'll ask, then you have the crew running around. You haven't done proper sound check. Things end up in a mess. So it's always better to cut down all the variables. Make sure you get everything in place. Sometimes even though you do that, you can still run into trouble. But you have to be as prepared as you can.
Well, that's something very educating for our listeners, I believe. So, coming back to some questions I have for you. Have you ever worked with a particular demanding artist and how you had handled a situation?
Yeah, I can think. Last show, Hornbill, I will not say the artists, they were not from our state. No, all the musicians from our state are usually very nice to work with. Those people, they were like, they were not in a very good state of mind.
Oh, I see.
And they gave my crew a hard time. So that was one of the rare times that I had to go down on stage and speak to the artist and solve the issue. I don't want to get too deep into it, but they're very unreasonable.
I see.
But at the end of the day, I told my crew, and I remained calm. I'm always calm, so I told my crew, look, whatever it is, we cannot walk away. We have to get it done. They are performing here. They're already here. So let's get it done. So we got things done for them. Yeah.
So I mean, as a sound engineer, the atmosphere at the stage can sometimes be very hectic.
The crew, yeah, I think you know very well working. When you go to shows and all behind this, when you have multiple, when you have a event that is like multiple artists working with different genres, soloists, band, choir, things get very hectic. Sometimes you have to take off stuffs, remove, put it back in, like that. No? So like these variety shows, variety show times are very hectic.
I see. So now you being, in the field for quite a long time, who are some of the sound engineers or maybe musicians that maybe it can be local or global, okay, that has inspired you to be better? Is there any names that you can give?
Well, of course, my friend and senior Acheng Jamir of Audio Garage and Teja Gile of Live Pro, they've been here before me. They've been the pioneers of the live sound industry in Nagaland, as far as I know. Yeah, so I always look up to them. I take advice from them. And also someone who is very much older. He's an uncle, Mr. Bari, the sound engineer for Shillong Chamber Choir. I have a lot of conversations with him also. And as far as artists goes, I've been, the new generation of artists like say KL Pamai, Abdon, Tamsu Clover, Electric Cookie, I just did a show with them in World Music Day Dimapur. They know their stuff. So they come and tell me we want our sound to be a bit like this. Communication. So it makes me want to be better, and I try to give them what they need because they know their stuff. So it gives me a clear picture of how the mix should be.
An artist and a musician or everyone needs a very good communication with the sound engineer.
Absolutely, because you cannot work. You do what you do on stage, I'll do my mix. No, it can't be like that. Yeah, because ultimately, as a sound engineer, people are not coming for the sound; they are coming for the artist. So I mean, the important thing is to translate the artist's vision onto we have to project it to the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks a lot of things to be done.
Yeah. It's tough when you have multiple artists performing on the same stage on the same day. If you're doing a one artist show, then that's fine. You have a lot of time to work it out. Yeah.
So it can be quite a hassle many times, especially events like Hornbill. We have a lot of lineup coming up.
Yes.
So now, being a very seasoned sound engineer, you have a lot of experience under your belt. So what advices would you give to our young people in Nagaland who dreams to, be in the field of sound engineering?
Well, I can say for me, I think is to get any job that you can. Try to work for a rental company or try to get into, just go and work for any production team. And, of course, you need to get paid. But when you're starting out, don't think about just setting your price demanding, I mean, that demand will come after, you show them what you're capable of. But when you're starting out, just try to get this show. Of course, don't work for free. but try to get the show, and then having a good attitude.
Oh.
Like I said, you can be the best in your field, but if you're a terrible person, people won't call you.
True.
So you need to work with, and just imagine artists. Artists are some crazy people. You have all the different style. You need to be able to talk and work with those artists. Even if you're just on stage rolling the cables, whatever, you have to be friendly with people. But at the same time, you have to know your job. And the only way to get to know the job is to work on site. You can do all the studying, but in order to really grow, you have to work, and you use whatever the knowledge you have, you apply it on the field, and then that's how you grow.
So you advise the people to be more on ground.
Yes, and you have to be, in this field, there's nothing glamorous about it. It's a lot of work. And the learning also, till now, every year I go for training, this and then different types of training. I find that a lot of people, even people who are starting out, many people, they don't want to, go for training and all. They just feel that itu kurasa itu kuri thaigo. Not like that. There's a lot of things happening, and the growth, it doesn't happen suddenly. Say, I really started getting into live sound in 2014 only. Before that, I was working in the American Embassy School at New Delhi, but I was theater assistant. I was doing mostly studio work and some live whatever, small theater shows,
Okay.
So then, when I came back to Nagaland only, I started getting into real life shows. And I can tell you again, of all these years, I think I've seen myself really grow, getting all the technical things together, and then as a mixer, growing as a mixer. I'll tell you, in the last 2 or 3 years only, I think I felt that I've really grown, that I'm able to get the nuances now.
Okay.
Get the nuances, yeah.
So the field of live sound engineering is an evolving industry. It's always growing.
Absolutely.
So now, looking back at your journey, what is that one thing you wish you knew when you were starting out?
Oh my, there's a lot of things that I wish I knew. One thing was that being able to communicate. No one ever told me that you have to be communicative with the artist or with people in general. Because, as Nagas, we grew up with quite conservative.
Okay.
So what I wish I knew was being more communicative. There's a lot of technical things that I wish I knew, but that comes with experience and learning. But something that they will not teach you in schools is you have to be communicative. Not talkative.
Not talkative.
Communication.
Communication is the key.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you see the future of live sound here in Nagaland? Okay, heading, especially with so many young musicians, like you've mentioned, KL, Tumsil, and festivals like now we have a new festival coming up, Ahibi.
Yes. Yes.
Growing every year. Where do you see our Nagaland in the next 10 years?
I think there's the growth, the industry, from what I've seen in this 1 decade that I've been here, it's grown at a massive scale. For earlier, I was out of the state. I came back in around 2014, and then people used to hire someone from Guwahati, from Aizawl. Those people, their production used to be way higher than Nagaland. But I think over the last few years, our production has really gone up. But I feel that we have not been able to bring in A-list artists like some of our neighboring states have done. But that, I think, is because of the economy, and people don't buy tickets.
Yeah, tickets.
See, even for local artists also, when they have a gig and all, very rarely people show up. So I think that's one of the reasons. So, but I think production-wise, the production people, be it lights, LED, sound, people have really invested a lot. And even if international artists come, they are able to meet the requirements. The growth has been phenomenal.
So I think we had a very long, serious conversation. So let's go for a little lighter note. Okay. So for you, your point of view, who is that one artist or band that you would love to mix for, if given a chance? It can be international or even, local.
Difficult to name one. There's a lot of local artists that I want to do like a proper show with. And international artists, I've always been a huge fan of Def Leppard. My goodness, yeah. If I could mix them.
Okay, so
that's my fantasy.
Okay, your fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever had that, awestruck moment in your life when when you were working with an artist? If you can name some.
No, I wouldn't say like awestruck like that. I've not actually. I don't know why I haven't felt that. Maybe too focused on the job. But there have been shows that I've like some songs. Let me tell you, some songs when you listen, even some local artist songs, nah, when you listen on the radio or on Spotify, it may not be okay, fine.
Mhm.
But when I mix them live, I had goosebump moments. Some of the
Okay.
artists, now, so my appreciation grew a lot. So man, the music that's coming out from our local artists now, it is really good. Yeah.
Okay. We had a really good time having this conversation with you. I think I learned a lot myself. So now coming to the end of our episode today, would you like to give a short message to our listeners?
See, for me, being a sound engineer, I'm a government employee, but since I'm also a professional and I do freelancing work also, and for me, we really work from AM to AM sometimes, 6 AM till next day 4 5 AM, but we keep on just working like that, no? Because you know why? Because we love doing this.
Mhm.
If you don't love it and just doing it for salary, you would have quit long time back, or you can't survive. For people, especially in this field, you cannot pretend you'll be found out, no?
Mhm.
So I think it's very important to know that. I mean, it's a cliche. Do what you love, no. But I will not say that. What I will say is, not everybody, not all graduates are going to get job. So I think after class 12, for me, I would say people can go into what do you call this? Life skills, practical sort of jobs, no? Okay, because everyone after graduation, no one is doing anything. Majority are not doing. We are not. I mean, come on, Nagaland. We're not going to start a tech company or something like that. Very few
Yes.
people will do that. So for me, I think after class 12, if you're not going to be you're not going to get in a government job, or you're not going to be a research scholar or whatever, then I think it's good to get into technical skills. No,
Yes.
you can go into polytechnic or some electrician. That's work.
Mhm.
I did an electrician course also.
Okay.
Yeah, because sound, you need to know a bit about electricity. You need to know about electronics. You need to know about acoustics, physics, and those things. Yeah.
A lot of things goes into
Yeah.
it. Okay. So thank you so much, Marcus. It was
Thank
really amazing having you in perfect harmony.
It's a pleasure.
So thank you so much for giving us, behind the scenes of what is it like to look at the world of live sound. So your work at TAFMA and Hornbill has been a big part of shaping our music industry in Nagaland. We wish you the very best
Thank
in
you.
all your future projects, and we hope to see you and hear more of your work again.
Thank you.
So, to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Harmony. And until next time, stay tuned. And this is Tia signing out, and keep the music alive.